Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about some underrated LEGO Star Wars minifigures. So in this, we're going to have anything in the history of LEGO Star Wars, but just know that I'm not going to be accounting for age. What we see here is going to be absolute quality of the minifigure. And also let me say this, just because I'm saying they're underrated doesn't mean that people have rated them poorly. It just means that I think that they haven't even appreciated them as much as they should have. So without further ado, let's get on into it. I hope you enjoy. First off is a minifigure that I think is in my top 5 of those that I own. It's Enfys Nest from Cloud Rider Swoop Bikes in the Solo sets. The reason I appreciate this Enfys Nest minifigure so much is it's just amazing amount of detail. Even the cape that she has printing on it. So she has, with that, cape printing, leg printing, hip printing, chest printing, and then an amazing kind of gelled head print. So on top of that all, it's pretty movie accurate. I wouldn't have a complaint about that. With this set, I'd honestly have only worried about, who is Weasel? Why do we have a name for this character? That kind of is insignificant in the grand scheme of things for this movie. But I digress. Nonetheless, I really love this minifigure. As I said, I think it's in my top 5. I think its accessory it comes with is pretty great, and honestly, there's actually enough extra pieces that you can make a second one of them, which is pretty awesome. And I remember back when I used to give minifigure ratings on TikTok, I gave this about a 97%. It was a pretty successful figure. Next up we have the Horn Company Trooper. This is a trooper that I've really been high on since I've kind of rediscovered LEGO Star Wars. And I think it just starts with the color. The light green, the stand green on the clone trooper is just a really appealing kind of decal to me, as well as the insignia in his chest, as you can see. It really doesn't hurt that he comes in an awesome battle pack, the one with the Bark Speeder and the 2 Bomb Squad troopers, as well as the ARF trooper. All of those figures are top of the line minifigures from LEGO, and this, I believe, was one of the first times they were using leg printing on clone trooper minifigures. All in all, this is one of my favorite and probably all-time more underrated minifigures. I really wish I had more, but for now I'll really appreciate my one Horn Company clone trooper from that battle pack. So the next minifigure we're going to talk about is this Luminara Unduli from the Clone Turbo Tank that also features an amazing minifigure in Quinlan Voss. But today we're talking about Luminara because I think she's a little bit better than Quinlan. And her decorum and printing is fantastic. I love the way that her hip and leg printing resembles kind of her garb, her attire, and just all around amazing kind of cape. And just it's all, there's no kind of out of place, even accessory or cape or hat. Altogether, one of the better Jedi minifigures that we get. Probably the top 5. I think that, when you compare this to something like the Ahsoka Tano Rebels frigate minifigure, that's a great figure, and honestly, it probably is a little bit better, but this one has kind of that level of quality to it, but it's lacking the recognition that that other one has. It might be because it's Luminara, who's kind of a lesser character in a lot of the Star Wars universe, but she is an important character, and she does appear in the movies, in Clone Wars, and in Rebels, so she's not a nothing. Last but not least for this video, we're going to talk about the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, the original one from the gunship, and the ATT. By no means in selecting this one am I saying it's the best of the Phase 1 clones. Honestly, I think it's the worst. But I think for its time, this did do a better job than even the Phase 2 original Clone Troopers that we saw. I think it just fits better with the black head, having that inside of the hollowed out kind of visor than the Phase 2 does. Ultimately, I think it really it sets itself apart with its helmet. The hollowed out does work just that much better. And the sets that it comes in, as I said, are great. The ATTE is in a great kind of precedent for the future ATTs we got, as is the gunship. I think some people think that 2002 gunship is the best one we've seen, and I can definitely see the argument in terms of the minifigures. We get Jedi Bob, and this is just a fantastic minifigure that comes in some fantastic sets. So that's the end of my selections for this first video. Let me know what you'd like to see in terms of part 2. Definitely there's more than just 4 top minifigures here that are really underrated. I think that we have a lot of future ones in this series because LEGO Star Wars has a lot of minifigures, and most of those are better than average. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Like and subscribe, please. Let me know what you think. Give me some options for the future videos below, and see you around.